Who up coping with the election results? Hey guys. Yeah, the election was a week ago and I obviously can't do anything about changing the results. I'm not too happy with them, not gonna lie. Kind of gagged me. Really, America, wow. Um, and I worked the elections, by the way. Like, I was an election worker, worked with a whole bunch of nonprofits with like voter mobilization efforts. We were really trying to get the vote out, okay? I was making phone calls, knocking on doors, guys. I feel like I get to complain because I did the work, right? I did what I could, did try to do my civic duty. But anyway, it is what it is, and I wanted to do something to kind of talk about it, but also not engage. I feel like everything's been said already, like people have their think pieces out, but I wanted to do something more fun. So today's video is going to be, let me start my screen recording actually, that might be helpful. But today's video is going to be me ranking how I think all of the cast members of Modern Family would vote. Now, obviously, I think there are more people who obviously showed up in the show, but this, I feel like, is all the relevant people. Minus this last lady, I'm not gonna lie, I thought she was Claire Dunphy, but a recent picture of her, but I think her eyes are, too small for that. Also, the noses look different. I don't know. This is not Claire Dunphy. I don't know who she is. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's the friend of, Cam and... Let me take off this noisy sweater. Hold on. Okay, I didn't realize how... that was probably getting picked up so much by this mic, but... Anyway. Yeah, maybe that one friend who, Cam and Mitch used to drink with before they, locked in because they had Lily. But I don't know. I don't really know. Okay, so I have all my tiers here. So I guess I'll start from the bottom to the top. So the first is a random write-in, right? These are for the people who can't really get a read on them. Maybe don't know too much about the character. At least not enough to garner some sort of political opinion. So those people probably did a random write-in. Next, we've got Blue Down. These are people who are, loyal Democrats, probably didn't even consider voting Trump at all. Next, we've got reluctant Harris Walz voters. These people were truly reluctant to vote for Harris, but they just didn't want to see another Trump presidency, so that's where their ballot went. They probably voted for other Republican candidates, but the show takes place in California, so, that's a very blue state. Anyway, next we've got Jill Stein, who kind of popped out of nowhere, not gonna lie. I don't know too much about her, but I do know that she got a couple people who probably would have voted blue otherwise. Next, we've got Orange. Yes, these colors are very intentional. Obviously, Jill Stein was the Green Party, Harris Walz, blue, Next, we've got Orange. These were quote-unquote reluctant Trump voters. Now, I say reluctant in quotes because people who say that they were, reluctant to vote for Trump, I feel like they knew who they were voting for from day one, but they're less likely to, share or talk about it, or if you ask them who they voted for, they're gonna tell you that they don't want to share, or, it's not your business, or, because why else would you not want people to know? And then finally, the top, the red, is people who voted for Trump in 2020, 2016. I forgot he's not new to this. Trump 2024, Trump 2020, and Trump forever. These people are red-blooded, they for real didn't want anybody else, couldn't envision anyone else, didn't vote blue anywhere else. So yeah. Alrighty, let me find my pen and go ahead and get started. Cut my timestamps here. Okay, that's about 4:55. Okay, so the order that we're going to be doing this in, I started off with the Pritchett Tucker family, and I've kind of arranged them in the order of like the Pritchett goes first, then their spouse, their kids, then any other like relevant side characters, I feel like. With the exception of Pepper and Ronaldo, who I put at the end. I didn't want to end on Stella's vote. Actually, I could, but nah. Next, oh yeah, so yeah, and it's gonna go Pritchett Tucker, then Dunphy household, and then the Pritchett Gloria last name. Oh, Pritchett Delgado household. Starting off with Cam and Mitch. This one's pretty easy. Mitch and Cam voted blue no matter who, okay? These two they've been loyal Democrats since at least gay marriage got legalized during the Obama administration. They also helped charter a White Dudes for Harris group in their area, in their neighborhood. Now, the only, like, nuance I will say to this is that Cam is from Missouri, rural Missouri, farm boy. So before he knew Mitch, he was probably a Republican when he was in the closet, actually, because they're a gay couple, by the way, if you haven't watched Modern Family. I should also mention, I'm on season 10 of the show. I don't know if anything significant happens or changes, but keep that in mind if you've, like, seen the whole thing and you're like, wow, this is, like, outdated information. Like, yeah, it probably is. But anyway, so Cam is a reformed Republican. His family members definitely voted red. We'll get more on that later because we have, what's her name, Cameron at the end of their family. But, but now he's woke and he's, gay, out and proud, and, like, will never go back, pretty much. Cam and Mitch are also excited for Lily to see an Asian woman who's president. So that's, they're really looking forward to that. Now, Lily, she's kind of hard to read, okay? Because where I'm at in the show right now, and I don't know that she's going to have some, like, crazy heavenly angel arc in season 11. Maybe she will. I don't know. Maybe I can make a second video if, like, I'm proven wrong. But Lily definitely told them that she was going to vote for Kamala, if she could vote, right? Because I don't know people's ages. We're going to assume that, like, at the time of the show, she could vote, whatever. But she probably, like, told them that she was going to vote blue, but then ended up doing a random write-in, because she's in this, like, rebellious era, so I feel like... But obviously, I mean, that didn't, like, matter too much because, I mean, California was still blue at the end of the day. So that, like... But yeah, she's kind of rebellious and kind of hard to read. So I bet she wrote somebody, and she probably wrote in, like, her teacher or something crazy. And she's, like, such a prankster. Yeah. Okay, next we've got Pamrin. Yeah, she voted Trump in 2016, 2020, 2024. She hopes to vote for him again if Trump actually gets the 22nd Amendment. Is that what it is? Let me see. Yeah, she is probably hoping that she'll get to vote for Trump again should the 22nd Amendment actually, like, be wiped. So that's kind of scary, but, she is from rural Missouri. What can we say? Also, this is just my opinion. I was thinking of doing this, like, statistically, like, given each character's demographics, who are they more likely to vote for? But that would make it interesting. So I wanted to do it kind of just based on who I think their character arcs are. Because, like, statistically, I think it's right so far. Statistically, Lily probably would have voted for Kamala, and some other characters. But anyway, well, let's move on to the next household. Now, this is a house divided, y'all. And this one is probably the most controversial. So let me know in the comments what you guys think, or if you would, like, change any of my rankings. This is obviously, like, not important at all. But if you feel strongly, like, I'd love to hear your reasoning as to why. Because I also was kind of, like, on the fence with a whole bunch of people. Lily, for example. But anyway, we will go with Miss Claire Dunphy. Now, and hear me out, y'all. I think that she was reluctant to vote for Trump. She was probably convinced that she was going to vote for Kamala, vote blue down, all of that. But she I feel like she has a tendency to like crack under pressure, or like ruin things, or kind of not get things. Not that I don't like her as a character, but she just gives, I feel like, a very traditional or Republican, because she owns like the closets company too, so she's in favor of like all of the things Trump said he was going to do for business people, I think. Yeah, I think, and she probably justified it by saying, you know what, it's 2024, there's probably going to be another chance for a woman to be president, so I'm not ruining America. Like, she justified it a whole bunch. Like, she was going to vote for Kamala she right up until she got in that ballot box, and then she folded. I don't know why. Super annoying. And she felt guilty because she was going to have to explain that to Phil. Or the episode, and let me tell you, if this was an episode, she would have voted for Trump and kept it a secret until, she couldn't hold it any longer, and then it was a huge thing. But Phil always forgave her because he's literally the husband of the year ever. But anyway, let's go on to Phil, because his ranking makes me super happy. Phil voted blue down, okay? He is a registered Democrat, voted blue, no matter who again. He joined Cam and Mitch's White Dudes for Harris group and was so happy to be included. He's such a standout guy. Let's see what else. Oh, he tried to get Jay to join the group too, because, he thinks him and Jay are like best buds, or, he loves getting Jay's approval. But considering like Jay, spoiler alert here, I guess, but considering Jay's like staunch like Republican voting history, he didn't think he ended up joining. More on that later. But also ultimately, Phil loves Black women. He said that in an episode. You can tell by when he and Jay opened up that parking lot, and he was so happy to hire the Black woman. Also in the other episode where he was showing this Black woman a house and didn't want her to get the house in front of them because Claire knows that he has a thing for Black women and didn't want her to think that it was super weird. I don't know, but as soon as Biden dropped out and Phil heard that it was Kamala, he shed tears. He was dancing. He threw a party. He lit fireworks. It was like, in his head, Kamala already won. And in his head right now, Kamala is a winner forever, because the fact that a Black woman could even do that, he was just so thrilled and so happy. Yeah. Okay, now on to the Dunphy kids. So statistically, if I were just going off of how the Trump voter behaved and how the Kamala voter behaved, I would say Haley Trump, Alex Kamala, and Luke Trump. But because I want to have hope that these characters maybe did something, like, I don't know, like maybe had some redeeming qualities. Like, I'm just looking on the bright side, right? If you couldn't tell, I did not vote for Trump. I voted for Kamala. But yeah, so I think Haley, in this show, she's super dumb. So I'm not gonna lie, she was probably tricked into voting for Trump, which is not a surprise, because these two are more alike than they want to admit type beat. So, I don't want to like discount her on that. But yeah, Alex probably again convinced her to vote for Kamala, vote blue, vote for the woman. But or Haley, there's also a chance that Haley voted for Jill because Alex just kept on saying vote for the woman, and Haley couldn't tell whether Kamala was a guy name or a girl's name. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with that narrative. But yeah, Haley definitely, because I knew if she voted for Trump, it would have been for some really like lame reason. And so I like this narrative better. She couldn't tell because she knew a guy named like Kamal. Yeah, this is it. Haley knew a guy named Kamal. Alex kept on saying, vote for the woman, vote for the woman. We're going to have our first woman president. And Haley just assumed that it was Jill. When she got to the ballot, she was like, well, I know a man named Kamal. So this is probably the woman that she's talking about. I'm glad I came up with that narrative. Yeah, I like that better than she was duped into voting for Trump. Or there was also the possibility that Haley like got lost. She was given the wrong location, got distracted, and didn't vote. She probably showed up to the poll super late, and was like, "Oh, I'll just come tomorrow," or something like that. But yeah, yikes. Okay, next up we've got Alex. Alex, this one is pretty easy. She voted for Kamala, blew down. She's a registered Democrat. She's our educated baddie, actually, out of this family. She went to Cal State, Caltech, one of the, really nice school. Does a lot of research, she's mad right now that Trump appointed a guy who's anti-vax for health secretary or whatever. Yeah, she's mad about that. And she had a lot of hope. She also was hoping to have a woman president, but tisk. Clearly, that did not go over well. Anyway, next we've got Luke. Now, Luke is also kind of a hard read. He could have really voted for anyone, but I'm less inclined to believe that he voted for Kamala. So I really thought he would give like random write-in. And I thought about him being like Jill Stein because like I feel like, okay, I'm gonna start with him there at least, unless I change my mind by the end. But I feel like he voted for Jill Stein because he agreed that a woman should be president. But because Kamala's already in the White House as vice president, that she should give another lady a turn. And so he thought it was fair that Jill gets a turn. But like also like if we're talking statistics though, Luke absolutely voted for Trump, or he wrote in Kanye West. I should have added another tier for Kanye write-ins, because he probably wrote in Kanye West. But I don't know, what do you guys think? Definitely tell me in the comments what you think Luke did. I'll keep him in Jill Stein unless I like change my mind for whatever reason. Okay, next we've got Frank Dunphy. Now this is Phil's dad, sweet old guy. I love his character, honestly. Out of all of like the Pritchett, Dunphy, Tucker like parents, this guy's my favorite. And when we talk about like great casting for parents and kids, boom, this is right there next to Idina Menzel as Rachel Berry's mom. Hello. Like, do we remember this? I don't think we as a society, we do not talk about this enough, guys. We don't talk enough about how good this casting was. To the face, the buccal fat removal. No, I'm just kidding. let me calm down. But like, do you guys even understand? Yeah, I could do Glee next. If you guys like this, if this video really like turns up, then I'll do which Glee characters voted for who. Actually, if nobody asks me, I'll probably make that video again, or just yeah. Anyway, yeah. So Frank, although he's from Florida, right? Because Phil's also from Florida. And this is also why Phil is so special. Okay, not to jump back to him. I love Phil so bad, but like he was raised around a bunch of conservative people probably, but he broke the mold. Okay, he beat the odds. Obviously this was easy because his dad also blew down. As funny and as silly as he is, he does not like how mean Trump is to people. That's his reason, because he doesn't like the racism and then the sexism. No, he's not a fan of that. But yeah, he absolutely voted blue down. Next we've got Dee Dee Williams. She is Jay Pritchett's ex-wife and the biological mother to Claire Dunphy. Mitchell Tucker, Pritchett Tucker. Yeah. So she, we didn't know much about her character besides the fact that she like tried to beat up Gloria at her wedding and like other occasions too. And she passed away. Her character at least passed away. I'm on season 10. So, yeah, so she probably wasn't able to vote in the election. However, if she could have, she was probably a reluctant Harris Walls, because I feel like her profile is very reluctant Trump, right? Because again, like, I don't like to, like, I don't know, the Dumpty Pritchett, like, women, like, I don't know, I feel like these two are more similar than they'd like to admit, obviously. And Claire had a turbulent relationship with her mom, but I feel like by the end her character seemed to, like, really lighten up and, like, be super loose. So I feel like she was agreeing less and less with, like, the Republican problematicness, and she was, it's giving, with fear for our democracy I dissent. That was easy. Who we got next, and how much time do I have? Let's see. Recordings have a limit of 30 minutes. Okay, so I've got 10 minutes left. We can crank these out in 10 minutes. Okay, next we've got Andy. So Andy voted for, this one shouldn't surprise anybody. Yeah, he reluctantly voted for Trump just because, now Andy's from Utah, okay, and he's a Republican, but I think that he's like a super nice Republican, like John McCain type, like still back when the party was like still respectable, and not like, I don't know, like, yeah. Yeah. But he doesn't like Trump personally. He really doesn't. He's a Republican, okay, but he does not like Trump. But definitely his character has a lot of those, like, traditional values that you would see in, like, older Republicans. Like, I think he was raised by, like, reasonable Republicans, which is, I think, pretty assuming for Utah people. But yeah, I think Andy was a reluctant. He probably isn't gonna vote. He just hates the Trump presidency, but he also didn't want to vote. He wasn't really feeling Kamala for whatever reason. Oh, he didn't like the birth control stuff. Yeah, I think abortion was his tipping point. And so he was like, you know what? At least Trump is gonna get rid of those things. Yeah. But Andy as a character was nice. Like, he was nice. Anyway, who we got next? I'm checking to see how much time we have. Okay. Need to lock in, guys. Next we've got Dylan. Okay. Dylan, this is super easy. He wrote himself in. He doesn't understand the democratic process. He's I'm at the point in the show right now where, like, they just found out that they were pregnant. So I have a feeling that they're going to try and make his character, like, smart or whatever. But he and Haley are kind of on the same level of, like, we really don't know what they're going to do. But this guy definitely wrote his name in. He thought that the ballot, like, because, like, obviously on a ballot, you don't, like, write your name on it. But he thought that that's what you were supposed to do. And he was like, well, my name is not Trump. My name is not Kamala. And my name is not Jill. So I have to write in my own. That's what he did. He definitely did that. Okay. Now, Jay Pritchett. This one, I kind of like my breakdown for him. So Jay Pritchett, staunch Republican, obviously. I mean, he's not a very progressive guy, at least in the earlier seasons. But as we get further into the show, you kind of see him, like, loosen up, like, especially once he retires. He gets kind of, like, he gets a little woke, right? And as he's, like, accepting Mitch and Cam, like, I think he reluctantly voted for Harris Walls, which is crazy that these two ended up on that tier. But yeah, but he voted for Trump in 2016, and reluctantly, he was already on the fence voting for him in 2020 because he was getting kind of crazy and he did not like the pandemic thing. So yeah, but 2020 was the last time that he supported having, quote unquote, a crazy person in office. He, like Andy, misses the good old days when, like, Republicans were still, like, respectable people and not 34-time convicted felons. So yeah, that decision. And remember when I said that Jay tried to get him to join their White Dudes for Harris group? He secretly joined on a burner account on Facebook. So he was keeping up with everything. He was donating. Yeah, Jay is so quick to write a check for something. Like, that was an easy. Yeah, next we've got Gloria. Gloria's easy too. She was blue down. She was happy to have a woman of color in office, she was like, this is what I came to America for. Like, I'm so happy, like, that we're on the same timeline. Love her, baddie. Next, we've got Manny. Manny's also easy. Manny's a registered Democrat. He loves women. So this, like, he's so, like, respected. Like, he is just so proud to cast his ballot for it. And he probably had some, like, manifesto written on the ballot, too, where he was like, this is such an honor. I'm so excited. Yeah, so he was happy to vote blue. This little guy, Joe. I feel like Joe, now, I don't know much about Joe. Again, he's super little. Assuming that he could vote, I think he probably voted for Jill Stein and had some, like, moral, high ground, philosophical reason as to why. Because, you know, he doesn't talk much, but when he does, it's always something, like, super, like, intelligent for a kid his age. Probably because he's being raised by, like, you know, older parents. Not that she's that old, but, like, you know, Jay, when you're being raised by someone like this, like, he picks up on a couple things. Yeah. So this is who we've got. Let me see how much time I have. Okay, 5 minutes left. That's not too bad. Let's see. The dog, if she could vote, probably reluctant Harris Walls voter. I feel like this dog, Stella personified, would probably be a girl's girl, and because she likes, you know, she's obviously very pampered and spoiled by Jay. So I think that she also was, like, with the culture, you know, with the, yeah, I want a woman as president. I think it's time. Also, she did not like the whole Roe v. Wade thing being overturned. So yeah, that was her breaking point. Okay, and then next we've got, these are the last two. We've got Pepper and Ronaldo. These two are kind of hard to read, but I'm going to go with Pepper. Pepper voted for Kamala, but he hates her outfits because he, like, does decorating and everything. But he was like, her outfits have to go. I'm not going to vote for her again if she keeps dressing like that. You know, some very vain reason. And then we've got Ronaldo. Ronaldo, sorry to end this on this note, but Ronaldo definitely voted for Trump, but nobody knows why. We can't get a read. And I don't know who this woman is, guys. I'm so sorry, but statistically speaking, I'm just going to imagine that she voted reluctantly for Trump. And if she is who I think she is, right, like Cam and Mitch's friend who they would party with, Holly, I think was her name. If this is Holly, then I think, then this checks out. Like, yeah. So yeah, here is the tier. Here's the final list, final look. In the Trump 2020 whenever category, we've got Cameron and Ronaldo. Reluctant Trump voters, we've got Claire Dunphy, Andy, and Holly. Jill Stein, we've got Luke and Haley and Joe. Reluctant Harris Walls people, Dee Dee, Jay, Stella, Pepper. Blue Down, we've got Mitch, Cam, Phil, Alex, Frank, Gloria, and Manny. And people who had random write-ins, we've got Lily and Dylan. So let me know what you guys think of this ranking. I tried to, you know, keep it pretty objective. But yeah, I want to know what you guys think. This video also could have been like a TikTok, but I wanted to yap it out. So here we are. Thanks for watching.